Peace. This is King Noble Black Supremacy. And with this particular video, I want to talk about how your idea of what is righteous could be trapping you in the matrix in many different ways. A lot of times what we call righteous is not benevolent. It's just meant to maintain a certain construct or a system that benefits certain entities that you're not aware of. You're just told this is what's right. You really are not even given the permission to think about it. You just are supposed to accept it and go along with it. And it maintains the construct. They maintain the matrix by what is considered ethical, what is considered normal, and you look for validation in your actions to make sure that they fit the norms of what is supposed to be some unwritten code of what everybody accepts, which has become the consensus reality. So your idea of what's right maintains a matrix. And in order for there to be a revolution or transformation, you have to go beyond the ideas, the behaviors that maintain the construct that is in place. You have to step outside of it. You have to feel comfortable going beyond it because it is an absolute necessary. A lot of people say they want change, but they're stuck on maintaining and reinforcing all that they know, all that has been. And they fight, argue, and are aggressive in maintaining these values, in maintaining that particular construct, and think that somehow a change is going to happen. A change is going to happen when you can embrace the so-called evil. Now, the evil is not evil in and of itself or malevolent. It's just anything that is outside of the matrix or the construct will be called evil. Because if it wasn't, they wouldn't be able to maintain the construct. Anything outside of it will be considered evil, will be considered wrong. Anything. And you accept that. So when you begin to venture out of that paradigm, then you start to see a greater freedom. Then you start to see what change would look like. You're now on the path to change. Until then, you're just an idealist where you want things to be different, but you're afraid to step into new territory. You're afraid to step on uncharted grounds. You can't stomach or tolerate anything that is radically different from what you have seen, what you've used to, how you grew up, what you saw on television, what you've been educated on through school and religion and socialization. And when you see something outside of that, you say, you know what, well, that's wrong. No, that's not right. Well, how will things be radically different if you don't see something else, something different that deviates from the norm of how things have been in a way of which you claim you want them to change? A lot of goals that people have in the so-called conscious community, they want things to go back to how they were in the 50s. They want things to go back to how they were at an earlier date. But we weren't free in the 50s. We weren't free at that earlier date. So why would they want things to go back there? Because that's what that age group and that generation understands. That's where their values lie at. It has nothing to do with true social change for the benefit of the whole. It has nothing to do with transformation or liberation or ascension. It's just those the values that they were taught, and that's the world that they once knew and they once remember. They want reformation, not revolution. Because revolution will be radically different from anything that you have ever seen or ever experienced. Because everything you have seen and have experienced have not amounted to freedom, justice, peace, harmony, or empowerment for black people. You have to admit you have not seen that before. And if you haven't seen it before, and until you see something different that may fall into what is considered evil, wrong, will you be seeing something new? It will fall in that category. It'll be unorthodox, out of the box, something that you've never seen before. If you're not seeing things that you haven't seen before and being exposed to ideas that you haven't heard before, information you haven't heard before, then you're nowhere near the revolution or the change. The old paradigm is just being reinforced in your consciousness. And they've tricked you to make you think aggressive reinforcement of old ideas is the best thing for us as a people, the best thing for our community. They've tricked you into believing that. So in our heart, we're no more than Christian conservative, Protestant Christian conservatives, because we all fantasize about the time when things were more like that. And mentally, we're unable to go beyond those times and those periods. Nor are we willing to embrace something else that is new and is different. Your concept of what is right could be holding you back dramatically. Who gave you the concept? Where does it come from? And if that idea was completely fulfilled, would we be free? Would we truly be liberated, and would we be in power? Or would we just be safe and nice and neat in a box that most feel comfortable with or that you understand? Revolution takes you beyond your understanding. When you step into that new ground, there'll be a window of which you do not understand. But new profound understanding and realization will begin to happen once you settle in that new place. Once that new place becomes home for you, you'll get new insight. And you'll understand what needs to happen, where we need to go, and how we need to grow in a whole different way. Like none other. Like no thoughts or ideas that you've ever had before or seen before. Ask yourself, are you maintaining the construct? Or are you really open to new grounds? Are you really exploring new possibilities? Because if you don't have all the answers, all you can do is explore new possibilities and be open to those possibilities. And let go of the urge and desire to maintain the old construct, to reinforce old ideas, customs, behaviors, values, religious ideas, whatever. Let go of your urge to reinforce those. Disattach yourself from them. Embrace yourself to explore new possibilities where you can find the true way and experience the true change you've been looking for. It's King Noble Black Supremacy. Join my website, www.kingnobleuncensored.com. Donate, don't hate.